Hi, this is Joy Star from Rochester, New York, and you're listening to the Letterpod.
Welcome to episode 7. This is your host, Jack Bear. We have a full show today. First, we have Tales from the Trail by Orion, a top 5 list, an interview with Dewberry, and a special letterboxing song sung by Balloon Fanatic's family. So let's get started with Tales from the Trail. Orion speaks with Muddy Paws and talks about their summer vacation trip to the Pacific Northwest.
Hi, this is Orion with Tales from the Trails. So now, tell me about your adventure in the cave. A cave.
All right.
A cave. Somewhere.
We've done a lot. We've done a lot of different kinds of boxes, but I think the cave box was probably one of the more different ones we've ever done. This is a cave that, you kind of came in sort of the middle, and you could either go downstream or upstream. And I've always liked to go up against the stream, so you know.
You're a salmon.
So we went up, and it's a big cave. I mean, it went for probably 2 miles.
2 miles, and is it like a path that you can walk on, or just...
In places you could just walk, but in other places you were climbing over these 30, 40-foot rock falls where the ceiling had kind of collapsed down. And so you're like, some of the rocks were bigger than our daughter. All 4 of us went in. We had to get had a propane lantern, 1 lantern, so all 4 of us had to be able to see by 1 lantern. So when I went on the other side of the big rock, it was all shadow behind you, so it was interesting. We got through it. You climb up a couple 7-foot cliffs.
Was it scary? Because see, is this the first time you've done it?
Yeah, I've never done anything like that before.
It was really cool. It was very different.
Because see, I mean, I think it would be cool, but was it claustrophobic? Like, were you you were never in a tight place?
No, there were a couple tight spots. Most of the places, sometimes it was 30 feet up at the ceiling. It was
really
big.
Yeah,
it was big. It's just us and the water drips.
And it was very black.
and they don't mind. They don't mind you going in. It's like did you see skeletons and? No.
But then the other thing that was great was up on top. It was a really hot day. It had to have been 95, 100 degrees.
Really
it was baking up top, and down the cave, maybe 50. Yeah, it was cool.
It was a good day to do it.
Yeah, it was a perfect day to do it. So anyway, we scrambled, and some parts are smooth, and some parts you squeeze through, and other times you had to climb up over the cliffs, and we finally got to a spot because there was a box.
You'd been told.
There was a box that we had puzzled out, and there was a box in the cave, and we'd gone all the way up, and we finally got there, and by lantern light, we're trying to, puzzle through the clues a little bit to figure out where it was, but alas...
Behind which rock out of 100 million rocks?
Behind that such and such rock in the middle of, and we couldn't find it.
So after 2 miles of walking, it comes down to look behind a rock.
Pretty much.
Clues never change.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? When you're down in a cave...
But it was great. I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, we went all that way, and it was totally worth it, because we obviously never would have gone there in a million years if it hadn't been for that box. So even when you don't find the box, you get the treasure.
It wasn't as bad going out.
It was pretty hot, because you go to the end and then you come out, so we had to hike back in the 100-degree weather. And that was a little hot.
And we're wearing our jeans and our sweatshirts.
Yeah, because it was 45 degrees down in the cave.
So it was 95?
Yeah,
something like that,
95.
So what about other boxes? I mean, you don't have to name them, but did you find, are they different out there than here?
Oh yeah, we found all sorts of boxes. It was fun. Boxes have really small logbooks.
And they're
much
smaller.
They're like our signature stamp wouldn't fit on a full page of the box. I mean, they were small.
So they're like micro.
I don't know if I would say it was a micro box, but they were definitely small. Everybody out here, most boxes are the the 3x5 size.
Yeah,
and
what were they putting the things
These
in?
were like the 2x3s kind of size.
Like lock and lock?
Some of them were lock and locks.
Oh, so
we have more extreme weather.
Yeah.
They don't have to quite deal with the 5 feet of snow
and winter. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Rainier it's incredible. The mountains are beautiful. All the glaciers, and it was spectacular. It was really fun doing some hikes around there.
You said both your family lives out there. Like, were you guys from there?
Yeah.
Oh, so how'd you get here?
Beer.
That's true. That's true.
Good beer.
You got drunk one night?
No, let's move to New England.
Yep.
So what? You went for beer manufacturer out there, and then
I worked for Red Hook out there and was running the brewery out there. And when we decided to become national and open a second brewery on the East Coast, I came back here to run this brewery.
I thought Red Hook was an East Coast beer.
Nope.
Oh.
Started in Seattle.
Oh, that's a Seattle
It is
beer.
now it's an East Coast beer.
So beer brought you out
Beer
here.
brought us out.
So is beer going to make you stay?
Well,
So far.
we told them we'd come out for 2 years and start the brewery, and 2 years, and we've been here 11 years now, so I guess we're gonna stay.
All right.
I think
Don't
we
leave.
are. Yeah.
Don't leave.
It was fun. We went to an event out there too. We
Oh,
went to
okay, cool.
the Pirates event.
Right.
Jones Locker.
You met Dermot Stamper.
Yeah, Dermad Stamper. We met Ryan.
Yep.
And Amanda from Seattle, and Celtic Quinn was out there, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, because I met Celtic Quinn at Ithaca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't think you'd meet him out there.
No.
So he flew.
He was a
He
riot.
surprise.
He-
Nobody knew he
he's-
was coming.
I do
He's
like
great.
him, but
He's
you
a
know
lot of
what? You
fun.
know what? Cooties galore, right?
Oh yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah.
well, and he
but
brought
he had Alex
cooties.
to tackle, so
He had
he had
like,
Alex's
he had all
cooties
these-
with him in Seattle.
Did he know you were going to be there?
No.
No.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
weird.
Yeah. He
Wait
didn't
a
know
minute.
else
He
to
had
do.
your cooties out in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He had
we
a
got-
bunch of, like, we're getting cooties. And I'm looking at the stamps, and there's the Wildcats, and
Because he brought the East Coast cooties with
yeah,
him.
and they were all like people that were.
Which of course, so we had two. We had a bunch of hitchhikers
But
and whatnot.
you brought back West Coast hitchhikers.
Yeah,
And
we
are
brought
they
back-
around?
Yeah, they're circulating.
Cool.
They're
Cool.
in New England
And
now.
cooties.
Fun.
So
It was
the-
a lot of fun.
So what was the gathering? It was pirates?
Yeah,
Pirates.
search for Davy Jones' locker.
Did they find it?
Arg, you matey.
I
Hey.
think it was found several times over.
Yeah.
Really? Well, there you go.
It was a day kind of like this,
Yeah.
and it was probably about that size gathering, maybe a little smaller, but it was a lot of fun.
Now it's time for our top 5 list. First, I want to thank all my special guests on today's top 5. Without you, this would not be possible. Today's top 5 are the top 5 things you might hear at your local gathering. First, we have Lost Girl with number 5.
Aw, I think I just exchanged with myself.
Party Pig with number 4.
Want to see my boxing buddy?
Celtic Quinn with number 3.
Aw, she's another cootie.
Green Tortuga with number 2.
Mine or yours?
And finally, the entire Western New York gathering with the number 1 thing you might hear at your local gathering. Next up is my phone interview with Duberry. Hi, I'm on the phone with Duberry tonight. Duberry is a letterboxer, a mom, and is from Houston, Texas. How are you tonight, Duberry?
I'm doing great. Delighted to be here.
First question I have for you is I want to ask about your trail name, Duberry, and grammatrics. I think I'm saying that wrong. How do you say it?
You said it right, grammatric.
Tell us about how you picked your trail names.
Well, when we first started letterboxing, we were kind of casual letterboxers, and we would just find our real names. And after a while, we decided, no, we needed a family name. So grammatric is actually an amalgamation of my 2 children's names, Graham and Patrick. So that's how we came up with grammatric. My name, Dewberry, is one that I just sort of came up with on the spur of the moment. I ran into a letterboxer on the trail, and she said, "Hi, nice to meet you. What's your trail name?" And I went, "My name is Dewberry." And so ever since then, I've been Dewberry. And in the interim, I've kind of considered changing it, but by now everybody knows me, and so I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah, that would be hard to change now.
I guess so.
I see that you got involved in letterboxing after reading the Family Fun article back in 2004 or 2005. Tell us how letterboxing has kind of changed in Texas since when you started.
Well, I actually read the letterboxing article in 2003 in Family Fun, and I thought, oh my God, this is so terrific. So we went straight to the website and we looked it up, and there were no letterboxes in the state of Texas. Wow. And I thought, oh, okay. Well, this will be something to do if we ever get to Connecticut, and just kind of put it out of my mind. And then in 2004, we were planning a road trip to Colorado, and we were trying to think of things to do along the way. And I thought I would look up and see if there were any in Colorado, since we were going to be so far away from Texas. went to the website, looked it up, and lo and behold, there was one less than 4 miles from our house. So we went out and found that one the next day.
Well, I think others have had a very similar experience as you.
And in the interim, what had happened is two brothers, Silver Eagle and Baby Bear, had gotten interested in letterboxing, and they had gone across the state and started planning boxes. Then we sort of boxed casually throughout a lot of 2004, and when I went back to the website about November of 2004, there had been a lot of boxers in this area, and all of a sudden there were boxes literally across the street from my house. So that was great. And now we've got more boxes in the Houston area than just about anywhere else. We really love to entertain each other by finding kind of new ways to hide boxes and new things to do.
Speaking of new ways to hide boxes, I see that you're about a third of your 150 planted letter boxes have some sort of puzzle element to them. What gets you excited about hiding boxes with puzzles?
Well, first of all, I should explain about Houston. Houston is a great city to live. We love it. It's perfect for us. But it's not the kind of place where you're going to hike to the top of the hill and have a beautiful vista of a lake and have this kind of wonderful scenic spot that you're just going to sit and say, oh, I'm so glad that this is where this letterbox has brought me to.
Right.
So because we don't really have that, we have Quirky, which can be a lot of fun. A lot of us have kind of gotten interested more in the puzzle boxes because that puts the excitement at the beginning. And then once you've figured it out and you go to there, it just really adds another layer to how excited you are to find the box.
Now, there's some people that are intimidated, though, by puzzle boxes. What would you tell to a letterboxer that maybe that's been shying away from a box that has some sort of puzzle or cipher or code in it, that they should give it a try?
They should definitely give it a try. On my blog, I've put some easy ways to get started on solving puzzle boxes. But not every cipher, not every box is for everybody. So I think it's quite all right to contact someone in your area and say, which would be some of your easier ones for me to get started on. And then just kind of, I tell everybody you kind of have to live with them sometimes for a while. You can't necessarily force it. You just kind of have to walk around with them in your brain. And then all of a sudden one night, you'll just go, aha, and you'll have something to try. And that's actually how I think of the puzzles, is usually when I'm walking, an idea will come to me and I'll try to flesh it out.
Yeah, I've noticed that my brain works the similar way. Sometimes you set it aside and you come back to it, and then it all seems like it makes sense to you.
It does, and there are so many different boxers who have so many different ways of looking at things. Not everybody is going to be able to do the same type of puzzles. They're visual spatial puzzles, they're word puzzles, they're number puzzles. So really you have to kind of go at it with the things that you like and that you love. And then once you start working on them and building on them, you kind of can see a similarity. You kind of think, oh, I might should try that approach. And really it's easier than you might think, both to plant them and to solve them. But every now and again, you find one that totally stumps you.
Thinking about that, Duberry, I'm thinking about, do you have an approach? Like, when you sit down with a puzzle, is there, certain things that you try first? Like if you're looking at a cipher, are there, something that you say, okay, well, I'm going to try this first, and then I'm going to try that, and then I'm going to try this. Do you have a process, or you just kind of, is it more organic than that? I
think that you almost always should try some kind of simple substitution cipher first. So think of a one-to-one mapping of a letter to the symbol or to the number or to the color or to the wingding, whatever it is, and start there. A lot of them turn out to be cryptogram type puzzles. Then beyond that, for me, I almost always place a clue somewhere in either the name of the box, somewhere in the description, or occasionally I've one that the clue is the date that it's planted. And from there you can maybe get some ideas of some things that you might try, Google certain words, just kind of go from there.
That's great. And I'm going to change topic before we give too much away. I don't want to give all your secrets out.
Oh, I won't give them away.
There's a fair chance that one of our listeners has either gotten a postal letterbox from you or has sent a postal letterbox to you. You have about 100 of your own, and you've received nearly 600. What keeps you interested in postal letterboxing? I know sometimes it's the burnout factor for people, but it seems like you've kept the momentum going.
Oh, well, it's my connection to letterboxers across the country. You know, I can't go everywhere I would like to go, but through postal letterboxing, I can see their artwork. I can get to know them a little bit better. I think you do you find your rhythm with it a little bit. You find the number of rings or the number of boxes that you're comfortable with receiving. I think a lot of people, when they first start, they jump way off the deep end.
Sure.
And you just kind of find a place that probably works for you and an amount that works. But I still love to get people's boxes to see their artwork and to see the surprises that they put in them. I'm not the most technically proficient at making logbooks, so I'm always in awe of people who make those extraordinarily beautiful and complex logbooks. And I sit there and I hold them and I look at them and I try to think about how they made them. And so that for me is one of the things that keeps me interested.
Yeah, it seems like there's much more emphasis on that in a postal letterbox as opposed to traditional boxes oftentimes.
There is, and it really, for me, it's the good connections for the people. I feel like I have a lot of postal letterboxing friends across the country, and we really enjoy receiving and sending each other these little pieces of mail art. And for me, that's what it is. It's not the same as a letterbox in the wild. That's my preference, is to find one in the wild, but it's a form of mail art, and it's enjoyable in and of itself.
Do you do postal boxes all year round?
I do. I have to kind of slow it down in the spring during baseball season.
So you're a big baseball fan.
I have two boys who play Little League, and that adds up to a lot of games per week, and we end up getting a little crazy around here. We don't get to do much letterboxing in the wild either, which is a shame because summer letterboxing here is not so fun.
Yeah, a little hot, right?
It's not so much the heat, it's the humidity and the mosquitoes.
Right. Oh, mosquitoes, yeah.
So, and we're still having a little bit of unseasonal heat, but then I understand so are lots of areas of the country.
Oh, yes.
And we're hoping that we're having a gathering coming up in a little bit, and we're hoping that it'll finally get a little cooler.
Actually, that was my next question for you. You've hosted several gatherings down in the Houston area and other areas. What do you like to see at a gathering, and what elements do you like to incorporate into the gatherings that you plan that you think are fun for folks?
One of the things that we do that's maybe different than other people do is we always have like a children's area. So, for instance, when we did the Great Book Adventure Gathering, we had a bunch of boxes that were hidden, and it was a big I Spy game. So the kids were given a list of things to spy in the woods, and there were things like a giant toothbrush, a doll, a car, and when they found those things, there was a box right there. And because we're parents, but I have to say, the adults had a blast. They had as much fun with that as the kids, but it was something that we really like to do, is to incorporate boxes and try to make it an experience that's fun for young and old. And other than that, I am like the party planner. I always get carried away with all the details. I always carve too much. I always have too many boxes. I'm kind of the what if we run out of dip school of party planning, but but as opposed to boxes. So I think what I enjoy most is like a medium-sized gathering where you have a chance to chat with everybody. They get big and it gets a little hard and it gets very overwhelming. It's really an opportunity to see people that I don't get to see very often, to chat and to share war stories, and that's really kind of the fun part of it for me.
It sounds like a great gathering to attend to me. Last question for you before we finish up. What do you like in your coffee, and how much coffee do you drink when stamping in your personal traveler?
Oh, see, I'm drinking less and less coffee, so people are having to catch me earlier and earlier in the day.
Getting harder to get that personal traveler.
And I carve a new one for every gathering. For the upcoming one, I've carved coffee screen. And I drink my coffee black. And afternoon, it's iced tea. I will make an exception that if you catch me at the after gathering with a beer, I will usually give you my coffee traveler.
I'll remember that one.
You're welcome to come down anytime.
I certainly will. Duberry, thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Goodbye, everybody.
And to wrap up the show, we have Balloon Fanatic's family with their rendition of their Letterboxing trail song.
Letterboxing's number one.
Letterboxing's number one.
Bring your stamps and have some fun.
Bring your stamps and have some fun.
On the trail with family.
On the trail with family.
There is always lots to see.
There is always lots to see.
Searching high and searching low.
Searching high and searching low.
Is the box there, yes or no?
Is the box there, yes or no?
Creepy crawly slithering snakes.
Creepy crawler slithering snakes.
Watching Dad jump sure is great.
Watching me jump sure is great.
Well, that wraps up another episode of the Letterpod. Thank you for joining us today. And remember, we need your comments, suggestions, and contributions. Please check out our website on how you can help. Also, consider joining our Yahoo group, or you can send me an email as well. Thank you again for joining us for the Letterpod, and we'll see you next time.